evening and welcome to Pakistan Today News from our New York studio. I'm Chris Taylor. We begin in Iran, where at least 5 people have been killed in a reported U.S.-Israeli strike on a residential building in the city of Zanjan, according to Iran's ISNA news agency. 7 others were injured in the attack, which took place shortly after midnight, local officials confirmed. The strike reportedly hit an apartment complex, raising serious concerns over civilian casualties. The incident comes amid intensifying military operations across Iran, as multiple locations continue to be targeted during the ongoing conflict. Turning to Southeast Asia, Thailand's Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul has announced that Bangkok has reached an agreement with Iran to ensure the safe passage of Thai oil vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. The deal is aimed at securing uninterrupted fuel imports as tensions in the region continue to rise. The Thai government says the agreement provides much-needed assurance for its energy supplies and reflects Iran's commitment to maintaining safe maritime transit despite the escalating crisis. In the latest developments from the conflict, the Israeli military has confirmed the first missile attack from Yemen since hostilities with Iran began on February 28th. Israeli air defense systems were activated to intercept the incoming missile, following threats from Iran-backed Houthi forces to join the fighting. This marks a significant expansion of the conflict, now entering its second month, and heightens fears of a broader regional escalation. Meanwhile, a U.S. military base in Saudi Arabia has been struck, leaving 12 American troops wounded, according to a U.S. official. In a separate incident, 5 Indian nationals were injured in Abu Dhabi after being hit by missile debris. These Khatnaya underscore the widening scope of the conflict, as multiple nations are increasingly affected. Adding to the geopolitical strain, U.S. President Donald Trump stated that the United States doesn't have to be there for NATO, raising fresh questions about global security commitments. Airstrikes carried out by the United States and Israel have also targeted Iran's nuclear and industrial infrastructure, including uranium enrichment facilities and steel production sites. The International Atomic Energy Agency has expressed alarm over attacks on nuclear plants, warning of potential risks. Tehran has strongly condemned the strikes, cautioning that there will be severe consequences, while rejecting Western narratives that describe the operations as strategic messaging. These developments mark a major escalation, intensifying fears of retaliation and prolonged instability. Now to Lebanon, where United Nations agencies report a rapidly worsening humanitarian crisis. Intensified Israeli military strikes have forced more than 370,000 children from their homes in just 3 weeks. According to the UNHCR, over 1 million people have been displaced overall, with overcrowded schools and shelters struggling to cope. Humanitarian organizations are calling for urgent assistance as many families face severe shortages of basic necessities and limited access to medical care. Clashes between Israeli forces and Hezbollah fighters continue in southern Lebanon, further compounding the crisis. We now turn to Islamabad, where diplomatic developments are unfolding at the United Nations. Our correspondent Sarah William joins us with more. Sarah.
Thank you, Chris. Pakistan participated in a closed-door session of the United Nations Security Council, convened at Russia's request, to discuss recent U.S.-Israeli strikes on civilian areas in Iran. Particular attention was given to a school bombing on February 28 that reportedly killed many, including children. Several member states voiced deep concern over civilian casualties and stressed the importance of adhering to international humanitarian law. There were also strong calls for an independent investigation into the incident. Broader concerns were raised about the potential impact on global economic stability and supply chains.
Thank you, Sarah, for that update. Finally, the United Nations Security Council session reflects growing international alarm over the trajectory of the conflict. With multiple regions now affected and civilian casualties mounting, global leaders continue to call for restraint and accountability. However, with no clear diplomatic breakthrough in sight, the situation remains highly volatile. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today News. I'm Chris Taylor.